Revenge films.
Right around when my son was born, my husband and I moved in with his parents. But his mother-in-law and his sister treated me like crap. My mother-in-law, Blair, she was the one who asked us to move in with her in the first place. She wanted to be near her grandson. And my husband was saving up for a house, so he said it would be a good way to save money. I said no, but he didn't listen. Blair's husband passed away a few years back. We didn't have to pay rent, but she told us to pay for the food and my husband agreed. Then, my husband got transferred to a different city. It was pretty far away. He just left me and our son at his mother's house. Then it started.
Why can't you do anything right? He married the wrong girl. You're so lazy. Get to work.
Yeah, you're so lazy. Get to work.
My sister-in-law, Katie, joined her too. And it went on and on like this for days. I called my husband and asked him for help, but he was no use.
It's only for a little while until we have enough for our own place. Just hang in there.
So, I had no choice but to take the abuse. One day, they took my son away from me and made me do all the housework. Then when I cooked them dinner,
What is this crap? You really expect me to eat this? You trying to save some money, huh?
then she threw out the food in the sink. When my son started crying, she handed him to me and said,
Take care of it. Go outside and make him stop. When he stops crying, come back in and make me something else.
I couldn't take it anymore. Carrying my son, I called my husband.
Hey, she's letting us live there for free. The least you can do is cook a decent meal. Come on now.
It sounded like he wanted nothing to do with it. But we gotta watch our food budget. We're saving up for the house, so...
Then you get a job too. Think for once.
Then he hung up. Why? Why me? Why did I deserve this? I went for a walk near the river. My son was still upset. If I jump from here, it'll all be over. I went over to the fence and put my foot up. Then, my son started laughing out loud, moving all over the place. I looked around. When I looked up, I saw a bunch of clouds that looked like my late grandma. She was smiling at me. I got your back. Don't worry. When she was around, she always comforted me. I gotta snap out of this, for Grandma's sake. All of a sudden, I was feeling okay again. My son stopped crying after that. We went to the grocery store and bought food. At home, I cooked them a real nice meal.
Not bad,
said Blair. They both finished their meals. After that, I started cooking delicious meals for them every day. Soon, they stopped harassing me. Once, she even said,
I wish you'd stay here and cook for us.
Yeah, but your son won't like that.
I'll have a talk with him. He's a nice kid. I'm sure he'll think about it.
Let's hope so, I said with a smile on my face. Then, 6 months later...
What is this? What did you spend all this money on?
My husband was back for the weekend. He looked furious. It was time to tell him. What do you mean? I spent it on food. I showed him all the receipts. I kept a record of all the money I spent on food. I used it all for your mother and sister. He was shocked. Truffles, crabs, eel, steak. Expensive sweets and wine. I had spent about $20,000 on food in 6 months. I took $16,000 from our savings for the house, and the rest was money my husband sent over to me while he was away. You said cook for them, so I asked them what they wanted to eat every day. His face turned blue.
Oh, relax. You guys don't pay rent, so it should be fine.
My husband couldn't say anything. He just sat there in silence. Then he realized.
If I keep living with them, we're gonna go bankrupt!
Then he told them he was moving out. He started packing his things. Then I handed him the divorce papers. I'm leaving you. Sign these.
What is this? Stop joking around!
I'm not kidding. I already got a lawyer and everything. If you want to talk to him. Then I took my son and went to live with my parents. I had Blair and Katie on tape. I always kept a voice recorder with me. Oh, and I also recorded their conversation with my husband as well. That's why I was calling you so many times, even though all you did was call me names. I also kept a record of everything on paper. My mom told me to do so. I was gonna wait until our savings were gone, but whatever. I sent over the recordings to my lawyer, and he sent him all the legal documents. He barely had any savings left, but I sued him for damages and child support. He called me so many times saying this wasn't his fault. But that wasn't true. He called me all kinds of names too. The lawyer handled everything. The divorce went pretty smoothly. My husband kept asking my lawyer to talk to me about giving him a second chance. He probably thought he had a shot if Blair and Katie were out of the picture, but the lawyer said,
Your wife asked you to help her many times. But did you?
He couldn't say anything back to him. Then,
Your wife probably didn't tell you this. But she once thought about ending it all by jumping into the river with her son. But then she looked up and saw her grandmother smiling at her. I think that's when she realized that she had to leave all of you.
he was shocked to hear that. I guess he had no idea. After that, he stopped bothering us. And the lawyer was right. My husband didn't help me at all. It was my grandma. I'm so glad she was watching over me. And so, after the divorce, my husband was in debt. He had no choice but to live with his mother. I hear things are pretty rough for them. As for me, my parents still worked, so I was getting by just fine. When I started living with them, I was gonna get a job, but... You deserve a little break, dear. No need to rush anything. So I decided to take it easy for a while. I got to spend a lot of time with my son too. It wasn't easy, but I'm just glad it's all behind me. Time to move on with my life.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.